Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. So, if you log into Battlefield 5 as of yesterday, uh, you have noticed that you had a 38 to 40 gig patch. It's for the second half of the final update, and of course, you got a bunch of skins and 2 new elites and stuff like that. But if you're an old school Battlefield gamer, your hope was that you would have logged in and had some kind of new thing for the server support. So when you log in, you see this right here, and it says basically create your own perfect battle for your host community game. Big difference between community games and the good old days of having a proper dedicated server. This is not a proper dedicated server. And I'm going to show you why that is. So when you go into it, and then you're searching around, it's a little bit different, actually. You're going to go to your play. This comes up. So 16 to 64 players. You click on that. And let's say you're all gung-ho, like, oh man, I want to make my own server, blah, blah, blah. You click on add config. You're gonna name it. You can just name it, for instance. Of course, description. You don't really get a whole lot to put into this. You could do something like this, for instance. I noticed, like, after those dots, you can't type anything more than that. So, for people who wanted to have the whole description say something like, 200% tickets, kill cam off, all that great stuff, just to have it listed in the description, you're not gonna have that. So, you're really relying on your regulars, or the traffic that you're hoping to get to your server, to actually physically click on some of these things and then view the drop down to see all that stuff. So anyway, I mean, some people make the argument, well, it's free. Yeah, it's free, but you know what, I would have gladly paid to have proper server support, proper dedicated server files, server support, and so on. But I guess I'll take what I can get. And that's just pretty much the age that we live in, as far as what we can get. But anyway, so there's that. Of course, you can change this. And as far as the game modes and all that, I was really hoping that we would have got, for instance, more than just Breakthrough, Conquest, and Outpost. I love Breakthrough. It's my favorite. I'm really liking Outpost lately. But the one I was really hoping for, believe it or not, was I was hoping that there would have been a selection for Grand Operations. It would have been really cool to have been able to host a Grand Operations, but like, say, hardcore style, or Grand Operations infantry only, or Grand Operations with iron sights only, just whatever. You don't see that, so that's kind of a letdown. I should say kind of, it really is actually a letdown. But you just go through this, and then as far as the main stuff, I mean, classes, I mean, it's cool you could turn some of this stuff off. I mean, for instance, let's say you wanted a server that didn't have snipers. Some people don't like snipers. You could turn that off right here. And of course, here's all the gadgets and so on you can have off. One thing that actually kind of caught my eye was I like the idea that we could turn off the aim assist, rotation. What does it say? Enable or disable the snap to nearby targets on zoom provided by aim assist, and then enable or disable the slowdown that helps players track moving targets from aim assist. It's kind of cool. As far as this goes, It says name tags. Enable or disable the name tags on soldiers and vehicles. Does that just mean your teammates? Because if you think about it, you kind of want it on for your teammates. But if you want a sense of realism, um, then I could understand it being off for that. Getting to recognize the your teammates' uniforms, the enemy's uniforms, right? To me, have the name tags on would make sense if your server had friendly fire on. Because you could easily team kill somebody unless you obviously recognize the uniforms. If this name tags means that it applies also to the enemies, that would be great, because if you think about it, you're on the opposing team, and let's say you got that one bush camo, the one that looks like a ghillie suit. Well, with this feature off, right, somebody walks by you, your name tag thing ain't gonna flash up through the bush. You could truly be hidden. That would be pretty cool. So it's very vague as far as if that's what's going on with this. So if anybody happens to know, leave a comment and go from there. Maybe it's in the patch notes. I don't know. I looked over it and I didn't really see anything. Again, it just seemed really vague. As far as minimap, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to turn that off and then force people to actually use their compass for change. This right here is awesome. I mean, this is probably one of the best features, to turn off the kill cam. Not being exposed where you're at. Racking up a bunch of kills. Whether you're a sniper or whatever. Just the whole idea of not being seen. That's pretty cool. I should say not being seen, but not having the kill cam expose where you are, and then having everybody basically, blitz you. So, of course, HUD on or off. Some of the ultra hardcore fans, they all want that off. Me personally, I would rather just make a server that's kind of got like a balanced hardcore, not like classic hardcore, but there's some elements from the classic game I want on for my server. In which I want some of the HUD on. Like I want third person on, for instance. And speaking of that, when you go down the roles, you could do just that. So, ticket count, there's the classic 100%. If you want to do less than that, you could. I don't see why you'd want to, but I guess if that's you, hey, you can do that. You could double the ticket count. I think that's the highest you could do, is you could double the ticket count. Round time, of course, look at that. You can make it like super high. You do absolutely no round time, in which you have to win based on tickets, not on time. Soldier respawn time. I mean, I like the idea that we can turn this down. Bullet damage. I had some friends that just wouldn't play Battlefield 5 because they felt as though, you had to put like a whole clip into the guy. Well, for one, you don't have to put a whole clip into the guy, but I understand the debate in regards to that. In regards to, you're just starting out, right? You just got the game. A lot of you guys got the definitive edition. You're brand new to this game, so this is something that you want to pay attention to, or you want to play on servers that have the bullet damage turned up. Me personally, I'm going to play around with this and see if putting up to 125 is the perfect thin line area as far as normal to hardcore. But if you want strictly hardcore, then of course you gotta go with the 200%. But me personally, I think 125 wouldn't be too bad. That's not putting a whole clip in the guy. It's just making it so, 1 to 3 shots. But what I do want to find out is, if you're using a sniper, especially Carney 8K or Craig Jorgensen, something like that, if you're hitting the guy upper torso, right? That should be a one-shot kill. And will the 125% make that a one-shot kill? I don't know. We'll see. I know with the 200% absolutely would, but and of course headshots are always a one-shot kill, but it'd be kind of interesting to find that out. And then little things like reload the whole mag. Do you get a It says, when enabled, players lose all remaining ammo in the magazine when reloading. I mean, it's just kind of like a realistic figure, but at the end of the day, this is Battlefield 5. It's not really that realistic of a game. You want a realism game, you know, go with Hell Let Loose or was it Postscriptum. Anyway, regenerated health. I personally want to turn this off. I like the idea that, you know, if I knock the guy down to like really low health, you know, like 99% damage, he only got one sliver of health left. He really needs the mech to help him out, or he really needs to get to health. Now he just sits in the corner and boom, his health comes back. So, me personally, I would have that off. If you're a classic Battlefield 5 player, or I'm sorry, Battlefield player in itself, all the way back to Battlefield 2, how it used to be is you could only spawn on the squad leader. So if you want that old school feel, that's back. And of course, you know, turning friendly fire on and off, there it is for you. Alright, now going to the vehicles, you know, it says vehicle respawn time. I like the idea of putting this to 50%. I mean, you know, I'm really into flying. And, you know, if you're a hardcore pilot, I think there's a few maps you want this thing turned way down. What is it, Narvik on Breakthrough? There's times in which it'll say something like 0 out of 4. You hold tab, you look at your list. There's only 2, you know, icons for the planes, and you're just sitting there, and you're sitting there, and you're sitting there, and literally like the minutes are racking up, and you're thinking to yourself, my God, how long is it going to take for a plane icon to show up? So set this at 50% on maps like, you know, Breakthrough Narvik. That's going to help. Another map that's really going to help is Conquest on, what is it, Mercury. You know, those are the main 2 that really stand out. As far as the other maps, I mean, the respawn time on Eris is not too bad. Of course, you know, Fiel, you don't really have to worry about respawn time too much with that, but, you know, I guess you could if the server was full. And then other things, you know, if you want to really make your server super hardcore and disable a vehicle third-person camera, you can do that. To me, that would really make it challenging, but I don't know if I would like that personally. But as far as air vehicles, I don't know if this means that you can set, like, say, Fiel map specific. I don't think so. That'd be cool if you could. That'd be cool to have a rotation in which, for instance, let's say you had Conquest, you get to Fiel, you don't want air support, right? You want it to be just infantry only. I don't think you could do that. I think it blankets over the entire map rotation. So if that was something that you're wanting to do, then you would probably have to do a server like 24/7 Fiel infantry only, and of course you would disable that stuff. So yeah, and then of course, you know, here's all the other ones: land vehicles, transport, and so on. And as far as weapons, I know for my server config, I just thought it was cool as hell to be able to turn out the shotguns. You know, and especially for some of you guys that like they're gonna have servers for, was it 24/7 Operation Underground. That map really stands out. That, you know, you need to have shotguns off, because I mean, it's just, you know, people smoke, you know, throw the smokes and stuff like that, and, you know, turn that off. Or, you know, let's say you hate the idea that there's snipers. They could shoot all the way down, you know, the long tunnels or whatever. Hey, turn that off too, you know. Or if you want to set up in which, you know, it's iron sights only, or, you know, bolt action on iron sights only, or whatever. That could make it pretty challenging. So I'm sure there's going to be some interesting servers. The sad thing I have to admit, though, is it seems like when it comes to the custom stuff, it's just more popular with European servers, and the American servers, it just, I don't know what's up with that. But, you know, it's only been a couple days, so. But anyway, that's what's up with it. When you fire up your server, you know, it will put yourself into it. And the bad news is, of course, it's not a proper dedicated server, so therefore, you know, if you don't get any traffic into it, or your buddies aren't going to follow you into it, you can't just make that special announcement on your forum or gaming group site or whatever you want to call it, saying, hey, guess what? We have this server, it's called this. Because what's going to happen is if you don't move the mouse around on your character, just like how it was before on the first version of this community servers, your server is actually going to time out. It's going to boot you from it because, that's how it is. Now, as far as, will it boot you for being a spectator? I honestly don't know. I haven't gotten to that point where it does that. I don't even know if it's, let's say the server switches maps, if it automatically puts you in spectator. So these are unforeseen circumstances that nobody has really experienced yet. If you have the time to go through all that and want to do that and want to make a, I guess you could say, a report of that, have at it. Traditionally speaking, in old school games, if you went to spectator, you shouldn't be being kicked for being a spectator. I think in Black Ops, yeah, you still will no matter what because they have a timer set to it. But again, I don't really have the answers for that. So it'd be interesting to find out what that is. There's some programs out there in which you can, of course, fight this if you wanted to have a true dedicated server, I guess you could say. Because what happens is this. When you go to load up this config, you're going to notice that it's, of course, going to slap you into whatever first map you selected in your rotation. So, for instance, let's say it was Fiel. So that will load up. It'll give you the spawn points if you decide to, have your server set for a minimum of 4 players. It's just going to throw you in that spawn. There's not much you can do other than just run around or whatever until it's live. But, it's just, again, a lot of unforeseen things that we just don't know about yet. So you're going to have to kind of play around with it. But as far as not moving around, I guarantee it's gonna boot you. At least that's how it was before. Maybe it won't because you're the admin. And that's another thing I was going to mention. As far as adding admins and so on, I don't see where you can do that. If somebody can, mention how you go about, manually adding, let's say, like your clan buddies as admins and so on. By all means, post how to do that. I just don't really see any of that. So the info is kind of vague. It's going to be a lot of, playing around with this to see where it goes. But it's better than nothing. If you go to your server list, you will see... Hold on, let's see here. You could either do browse community games this way, which I'm kind of glad they did that, instead of like a backdoor method like some other games. Or you could just go like this, multiplayer, if you have your filter set up like mine where you have it set to everything. Look at this, see? Like this guy's got a server up, but look, nobody's in it, just him. He's probably waiting for people to join up in it. Again, there's that Grand Operations. DICE, why the heck didn't you give us Grand Operations to have our own? That would have been fantastic. This guy, my default game name, I mean, he's probably just new to doing it. This guy, look, see, he's got something going on. Pistols and eyes only 200%. And, he's hoping that somebody's going to join that and get that thing going. But look what's going to happen. Nobody joins that. That thing's going to go away. So these aren't really true dedicated servers by any means. This guy, it says World War II in order, hardcore. I'm probably going to hop in that here in a bit. But, it's a German server. I don't like that too much. I want to play on something in the US. So, and of course, if you want to narrow it down to community servers only and not the EA ones, you just go right down here and you can do that. Let's see, like I'm going to do, okay. So I want to see obviously the American servers. So LEB, Fast XP, Respawn, Hardcore. They say Fast XP. I don't see how they could do that. So some of this stuff, and you got to be careful too, because you know what? Is it really a Fast XP server? If it is, that goes against EA's terms of service. You could possibly, get your account banned or something like that. But I don't know if they really care. I mean, they don't really care. They didn't care too much about banning hackers, so at least we can ban hackers. At least we can have some custom, things going on. That's the main thing. So I mean, at least it's a step in the right direction. At least we're getting something. So anyway, have at it. Check this out, and let me know. what you guys have found out. I'd love to hear what you think. So that's it for today's episode. I know it's a little bit non-traditional from my, frag videos and so on, but with a big, huge update like this, I felt as though there needed to be a little bit of emphasis on it. And in closing, I just want to state this. Clan servers are the lifeblood of gaming communities. It really sucks to see AAA developers not give proper clan support. I don't know why they're so anti-clan. They say that they're not. They absolutely are. You take Battlefield 1942. A really popular mod at that time was the Desert Combat mod. And if you look at the actual map layouts and the actual screenshots of the maps, and compare it to Battlefield 2 when it came out, literally, it's the same thing. And of course, that's how DICE came about. If you know the history behind it, that's how it came to be. And the PC gaming community supported them from the beginning, and they just disrespect us with lack of server support. And was it Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? I mean, the game came out October, November 2009, and every year after that we haven't gotten proper server support. So it's just like after that happened, everything that just seemed to be the way to go, or like the standard, if you will. Server support just started dropping and dropping. Now, I'm not saying for the independent developers or the non-AAA groups or the non-mainstream ones, but as far as the big two, which was EA DICE and Activision / Infinity Ward, we have not gotten proper server support. What you guys play on right now, this matchmaking and all that stuff, that's still not proper server support. I mean, there's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War that's out right now. You're playing on dedicated servers, but how can clans really grow if they don't have the customization that they need? Even in my group, I mean, thankful for what we have, but it's just the good old days of having a server up and having it be a unique experience is what I'm trying to say, and having people enjoy that unique experience and even donate. I mean, so many things follow with that. Like say you get donations because people like it. That goes to help the servers support, or help pay for your server rent and stuff like that. You get new recruits. I mean, it's just all of it has to do with all that stuff. And these developers, I don't know what happened. I guess they don't care that those things happened, or yeah, I guess that's it. They just don't really care anymore. But the reality is, there's been quite a few gaming groups that have died from that and gone away. And it's a really sad thing. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think. And hopefully I'll see you in our server soon when we get that configured. Alright guys, over out for now. See you on the next one. Take care.